Hey, true believers, it's Englentine here to talk about Aquaman. Not just Aquaman number 36, which of course we're going to get into a review of, but the title in general. See, I'm usually talking about comics, and this one always comes up. I always bring up this title as the beacon, as if you want to find yourself a good book, and in this case, it's a good book that nobody's reading, you should go to Aquaman. And the other day I was reading this issue here, and I was wondering, okay, so what is it? What can I say? You know, because you could go, okay, well, the story's good, the art's good, blah, 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 yada, yada. And I'm not an artist, so I honestly don't really have perspective on that. I can't look at it and tell you any kind of technique. I'm really just completely ignorant about art. So I can't, well, look at the line of sight on this one. Look at this and look at the way this page. Now, I'm familiar with comic books, so I can tell you that I love, say, I'm not a big fan. I'm going to get in trouble here. I'm not a fan of, let's say, like the way Jack Kirby draws as much as I love his designs and I love the way he lays out a page. You know, it's very dynamic. So that's the kind of thing I can recognize in a comic book. It's the art is in the eye of the beholder. Everybody knows what is pleasant to them and what is pleasing. And I over the years, I've figured out what makes a good comic book and what doesn't just by being able to look at it. You know, even though I don't know the names of the techniques, it's easy to tell when comic book art is fluid, when you can feel the characters move rather than it just being a series of pictures. And I apologize if this sounds vague, but I can apply this to Aquaman. These days, it's had this look, and you can see it right here, where it looks painted, but it doesn't. And a lot of times, go back and you can see it in Marvels. Now, I love Marvels. I love the art in Marvels, but very rarely does Marvel's art feel fluid. It really does feel like a series of pictures that tell a story. This doesn't. This doesn't. I'm not, oh, by the way, just to get back so I'm not destroyed on the Marvels thing, I don't think it always does. But for a lot of things, it's just like the book really gets by on, holy crap, it really does look like Giant Man is walking over the city and he's a real guy. And, you know, but anyway, for this, it's weird because it is painted, but it does have a sense of fluidity. It has a sense of motion. And for that, I can at least say something positive about the art in this book and in the series. Of course, the series doesn't always have this look. So what was it about the earlier issues? Because I've been screaming the praises of Aquaman since the first issue. I've loved the fact that nothing came easy. Seriously, you would have a 6-issue arc, much like everything now, because you know they're written for the trades. It's just part of the business. I'm not a big fan of it, but I can accept it. But because that 6 issues might not end the story, it might actually stretch out to a year, which this storyline has been. This is, Aquaman lost his throne. You had Groth come up and take it. And what's happened after. So one of the things that I've loved about this series is there does not seem to be an easy solution to the problems that Aquaman has faced. And to me, that's made it a lot more exciting. So yeah, sometimes, okay, you know, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes there are points where it's like, we now need to wrap this up. But as soon as you feel that way, the next issue draws you right on into the story again. And it takes you to places you didn't expect to be. I love the Batman / Aquaman part of the story that's going on here, where he lost the throne and he's an outsider. Now they are trying to fight basically the magics of Atlantis in this issue. It really does go through what makes Aquaman a hero in this issue as well. And you get a feeling not just for who Aquaman is, but the people around him. And that's another thing that makes for a great comic. And this is what Aquaman has. I would also point to, for me, Superman in the 90s. I really thought John Byrne fleshed out all of his side characters. And here, you're getting the same thing. Finally, we are really getting into who the citizens of Atlantis are. So it's not just some sort of land that we're not really sure of, or some mythical place that we're told about but we never know. This is some place that is living and it's breathing, and it is someplace, I mean, you know, of course we die, but when you want to visit, you know, it's really fleshed out. The guard that you never met before, the magic users, the high priestess, everybody are coming together, and it's just as interesting to follow them as it is to follow Aquaman or Mira, who, by the way, has her own miniseries, which has been pretty good as well. So those are also things that I would have to say make this a great series. You want to follow not just the main character, but everybody around him. And that is a rarity. That is, I mean, especially these days. These days, even if you go and you see the side characters, usually their dialogue or their actions or the way they feel or everything revolve around their relationship to the main character. And that really only works, in my opinion, in Superman, where you're having a familial situation. Because Superman's life should revolve around Lois, and Lois should revolve around Clark Kent and Jonathan and so forth. And it works in that way, but other places it just makes you wonder, do these characters have a life outside of Aquaman? In this case, yes they do, and they show it to you. And it is, like I said, it's far more interesting to be invested in a book that cares about every character than just the ones that, you know, just the main title character. Anyway, I'm mumbling at this point. But the sorry guys, I really want to express why not just this book right here, issue number 36 of Aquaman, is awesome. It sets up the story. It's action-packed. It has Arthur questioning his role as a hero, much less his role as a king, which he is even saying, please help me get this guy off the throne, and I will, I won't take it. You know, that's one of the things he had to promise the King's Guard, because he wasn't happy with Arthur on the throne. He just recognizes that now there's an even bigger threat. So it's not like he's loyal to the throne, not to Arthur. He's loyal to Atlantis, and he wants to make sure that the best person is on there, rather than just, you know, well, I like you and I want you there. And it's and that's part of what makes it as well. There are always oh, and I said Wrath, it's Wrath, sorry, earlier, but there's depth to not just Aquaman, but to the side characters, and for that, like I said, I have to recommend not just the comic but the series. And by the way, if you're not reading this comic book series, goddamn, look at this art. The story's awesome. And more than anything, man, guys, seriously, if you're not reading Aquaman yet, this is one title I can truly say that you should be. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Are you reading Aquaman? If so, what do you like about it? Or do you think that, yeah, it's good, but you're kind of overselling it? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you're not reading Aquaman, why? What keeps you away from this title? I'm very interested in hearing that. What is it that it's Aquaman, I just don't know. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, you know the drill. Click like, share to get word out about the channel. And, of course, don't forget to hit subscriber notifications if you haven't done that. Occasionally, YouTube might notify you, sometimes, maybe. Also, this is the way I'm trying to make a living. If you don't mind, head on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till, help us keep the lights on, and help us keep making videos for you. Mainly, we're trying to get better equipment and better software to make better videos for you. So if you don't mind, link is in the description below. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.